Okay, awesome. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. This is part 3 of our bookmarks section in our MERN Stack Mastery video series that we're doing. And what we're going to be doing quickly today is we're just going to be tidying some things up and adding some styling. What we've already done is we've already got a fully functioning application that's mostly been tested. We've got our authentication working, etc., etc. And we're just going to go ahead and make some last minute tweaks, add some styling, and call it a day. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into our application. As you can see right now, the application is currently working. If I go ahead and I reload, it catches and knows that there is a token. And if we log out, we can see, and we can just do that by doing local storage dot. This is something that we're going to fix, but we'll go ahead and we'll do local storage dot clear. We'll give ourselves a little button to take care of this in a second, but local storage dot clear would actually log you out. It doesn't do it automatically here yet, but we're going to change that. But if we reload, it's going to ask us to be able to log in again. We can switch to log in, and we can use let's say hello 12345. That's one of the ways to get in. That should be our avocado user. If I log in, you see that I have my local storages here, right? So I was able to successfully log in, and if I reload the page, I'm logged in now, right? So that's what's currently happening. So we're just going to tidy up with some styling and just make some things redirect and things of that nature so that some of those things will get fixed. So this is all going to be about look and feel now as we come into the application. So one of the first things that we're going to do, first thing is let's go ahead and make it so that when a user actually logs into our application, that they are going to automatically see that welcome message. And the way we're going to do that is in app.js. What we're going to do is the first step we're going to take to make that occur is we're going to go down to our use effect that is currently here that we made in the last video, and I'm going to give it a dependency of the token. Whenever the token changes, I want this use effect to run again, right? That's the reason why I have these two separated, because if I put these together, if I was to put the token in here, this would cause an infinite loop, because I'm going to keep setting the token again, and then the token updates, and then it runs, and it runs. It'll run around the big circle and cause a memory leak in our application. That'd be very, very nasty. Not something that we want to do. But that's why I have these two separate, even though they look like they're overlapping. But in this case, it's kind of necessary to do that. And if we go ahead and we look in the browser now and we reload, we'll go ahead and we'll call local storage, right, dot clear, right? We'll log the user out. There's no more token. We'll reload. And once we do that, then what we're going to do is we're going to log ourselves back in. And you see now, as soon as we do that, boom. Now we get our data down there at the bottom. But what didn't happen is this part at the top that says welcome, that hasn't changed, right? So you want to fix that too. So the way that we're going to do that, we're going to come back to our code. And we're just going to quickly make it so that whenever the token updates, we will also do something here inside of our application, which is essentially we're going to check and see if we will we do something with the user. So the way that we're going to actually handle that is we're going to need to pass the token actually and the token and set token down as props here. So we'll make that change. Then after we do that, you see how we keep saying const tokens equal to this and all that stuff like that? Well, we're going to change that out for set token. So we're going to now say that this right here is going to be, let's say, set token. right? And there we go there. And then here we'll say boom, boom. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like this. Const token, we'll let that be what it is, and we'll only call it out here, because that would be kind of redundant. That was my original plan, but now I'm looking at it. It'll just make me delete a bunch of stuff, and I don't actually, and rewrite stuff more than I want to rewrite it, so I'll just do it this way. Boom, set token, get token. That will work just fine for us, right? And let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to save. Right? Bam. All right, cool. And let's go back to the browser. And boom, boom, set tokens, not a function. And that would be because I didn't pass it down yet, which is real simple. We'll go to auth and we'll pass down set token. And token. Save. And that should go away. Boom. Reload. Let's go ahead and log ourselves in. We have a token in here. And let's go ahead and check our components. Let's look at the way our data is flowing right now. We'll look at the auth, right? Do we have a token? Yes, we do, right? And let's look at our user. Currently is null, right? So we just so that's the reason why that's a little bit off. We'll go back to auth.js. We'll take a look. Set token, get token, data is equal to token, json.parse, etc. So here's how we'll do it. In order to make sure that we don't get that null on that, we'll go ahead and we'll say const my token is equal to get token, right? We'll go ahead and verify this with my token. We'll set the user data like so, and we'll say my token dot split, and then we will set the token here to my token like so. So we know that we do everything in a nice little orderly fashion, and we should, there we go, get everything running the way we want. And is our user updated? Yes, it is. So we're all good to go. Right? Exactly what we expect. Okay, perfect. So now that we have that done, next thing we want to do is we want to add some styling, right? And we kind of want our styling to look similar to, maybe something like what we had in, not exactly like, but maybe something like how we had in the to-do list. Nothing crazy, just some basic styling. So we're going to start with our universal styling. So we'll go to styles.css and we'll start with the universal styling. And the universal styling will just say that we'll take the body and we will get rid of all the margin on the body, right? So the body is not going to have any margin. We'll go ahead and say that the padding is going to be, let's say that it's one of the viewport width all around, right? Just a little bit of padding, nothing crazy. And then we will say that the height is going to be 100 of the viewport height, right? So it takes up the whole amount of space. And that'll be just like our basics here. We could also say that we could throw some a background color in. I'll do off-white, so I'll do FD, FC, F1, right? And as a matter of fact, I might reuse that a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add this as a CSS variable. So I'll go ahead and say root. And I will say, and I'll call it, let's call it off-white. And we'll say that it's FDFCF1, right? And then we'll go ahead and use that here. And we might end up using it in other places too. So why not just save it in a variable? So quick CSS variable. Then we could have, let's say we have, let's say we could have light text. So we'll say we'll have light text. And we have our light text. It'll be just something decently light, so like 9. Actually, 969696 wouldn't be bad, but it'd be really gray. Let's give it a little bit more green than that and less blue. So we get like a, yeah, there we go. That's a nice little thing there. And then we'll say that we have dark text. And when we want the text to be dark, it'll be just a darker version of that. So something like a 615954, something like that. Yeah, just a darker version of that same. So that's good. All right, so we have off-white, we have text light, we have text dark. So we got our basic colors there. And then when we have our text black, let's say, let's just say it'll be, let's just do 116, 116. Actually, no, I did that wrong. 1. Let's do 16. 16. Yeah. 161616. There we go. And then we can save that. So we got our colors there. Decent color scheme, if you ask me. And with the background color being that, we'll set the color, the default color, to be text black for everything, right? And we'll change it to the light and dark when we have opportunities to do so. We also might as well just display everything as a flex box. Give ourselves a flex direction of a column, and then do justify content. Go ahead and center, and then align items also center. Save, and let's take a look and see what we got going on now. Yep, I like it. Cool. So that's what we got now. And now let's go ahead and let's actually style the individual pieces now. Now that we have our body styling, I'm going to start with the auth. I'm going to add a new file in here called auth.module.scss. And in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see what I need to style here. And the only thing I'm trying to style here that isn't inside sign up and login is the button and the H1. So that H1, I want that to look a certain way, and then I want the button to look a certain way. So what I'm gonna do is I'll start with the H1, and I'm going to give the H1 a background color, right? Of let's say text dark, and then I'm going to give a color of off-white. I'm going to give it a font size of 2.5 rem. And let's give it a border radius of 4 pixels. And let's go to auth.js. And let's import that style. Import styles from auth.module.scss. And we'll go ahead and give it that styles class name is equal to styles dot h1. Save. Let's take a look what we got. You see, cannot resolve auth.module.scss. Module not found. I must have named it wrong. Let's see. Auth.module.scss. Oh no, that's definitely what I wrote there. May I spell it wrong here? Auth.module. Oh, I see what I did. There we go. Save. And there we go. Cool. And then let's go ahead and text align it as well. And we'll do a quick text align. Center. Save. Right. And let's actually just put this here. And we'll close that for right now since we're just dealing with the styling. And we got welcome avocado. Right. And there we go. And then we need to also style if we would have had the button. And so I'm going to do the same thing. Essentially, I'm going to go ahead and say dot button. And I'm going to give it a lot of the same setup. Copy, boom, boom. Save, go to auth.js. And essentially, really quickly, what I'll do is I will come here to the button. And what I'll do here inside the button is I will add the class name. And I will say that I want to add styles.button to it. And we'll save it. right? And really quick, just so we can see that button style briefly, I'm going to go to my console and I'm just going to quickly do local storage dot clear and reload, and there goes our button. I like it. It's good for what we're trying to do. And so that's essentially done. Let me go ahead and log myself back in. Right? And now that I am logged in, I am good to go here. So now what I want to do, now that that is working, I want to go ahead and style the bookmark part. And what I'm going to do really fast is I'm going to come over here to my code. And then what we're going to do really quickly is I'm going to go to create bookmark. I'm going to make a new file in here, and I'm going to call it create bookmark.module.scss, like that. And in here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the form just look more presentable. So with the form, let's think. How do we want that form to look? We can kind of essentially make it so that the form just, I don't know, just sits better than what it sits right now. Um, and so what I'll do is I will go ahead and I'll do dot form and this is for the create bookmark specifically. And what I'm going to do is, let's say that it will display as a grid, right? And we'll say grid template columns, and let's say 1 FR, 3 FR, and then we'll do a gap. Let's say 1.25, and let's use vmin, and we'll say that the color is going to be var text light, and then we'll save that. And let's start with that. We'll come over to the form, and we will add a class name, and we'll say the class name is equal to styles.form, right? And then we will import our CSS module. So import styles from dot slash, let's say create bookmark dot module dot SCSS, and we'll save it. Right, so we got a little bit more styling here, and then we'll take the inputs that are inside the form, And then what we'll do is we'll say that they have a padding of 1 vmin. We'll say that the font size is going to be 2 vmin, right? We'll give it a border of, let's say, 0.1 vmin. Let's say solid, and we'll go with var, and we'll use, let's use text dark. And yeah, let's do that. Let's save. Right. Cool. And let's also display them block. Actually, let's not do that. So now we've got a little bit of stuff happening here, and then we're going to go back over to create bookmark. And then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a label that says title right before that one. I'm actually going to wrap it in here. Title, URL, right? And then we'll go back over here and we'll do label. And actually, I'll put the inputs inside the labels as well, make it even more specific. Right? Actually, no, let's not do that. But let's say the labels, we'll give them a font size of 2 vmin. I will display them as flex and align items with them as center. Save. And yep, I think I like that. I think I do like the way that looks. So that's pretty good so far. Trying to think, do I want to do anything else with it? Let me think. Let's actually make a actual button. Let's do that. But let me make a dot button class. And then what I'm going to do here is for the button, I'll go ahead and give it just a little bit of additional extra styles. Just to kind of look, just so we can style it separately from the other inputs, but still gather some of it. think the button's definitely going to need some margin. So we'll do 1 vmin for the margin. We'll give it some padding also. 1 vmin for the padding. We will also go ahead and give it a color. And we'll use the white that we made, the off-white. We will give it a background color. And let's make the background color text dark. Right. And then let's give it a border. And let's actually let's just give it a border radius. And let's give it the border radius of 0.5 vmin. Right. Let's save that. Let's add it to the input field. Let me change this view to word wrap. And let's give it a class name here. That's going to be, what should we do for this? Styles and button. And let's save that. And we got a nice little button there. So coming along pretty decently, right? And then we can center the H2. So I'm going to go ahead and make that H2. We'll go ahead and we'll make that H2 text align center. And let's make the color bar. And we'll do text dark. And we'll make the font size 2 rem. All right. And let's go back here. Cool. I like that. I like that. Let me see. So the form, I like the form setup right now. I kind of want to wrap the form in a container. Let's do that. Let's do a div. And let's give it a class name equal to styles dot container, which doesn't exist yet. And let's take the form and let's put it in that container. And let's save. And in here, we'll go ahead and we'll say dot container. And this will display flex. And we'll say flex direction. It's going to be column. Justify content. And we'll say, let's say center. And let's line item center. I'm probably going to move that, but we'll say center for right now. We'll save. All right. And let's look. Style.container, container, cool. Align self, center, save, cool. So now we should have like a basic general setup here. So I like the way this is mostly come out. Let's tweak the template columns. Right. Let me see. Yeah, that's good. Let me see. I'm almost thinking I actually want to wrap the whole component in a grid and then make the form a but I actually want that first row. I don't know if I want to move it though. That's the thing. Like I like where it's at. So here's what I'm gonna do. I like the way I like the setup currently. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little let's wrap this in a div, right? Which will actually change up the grid altogether if I do that. But the way that the grid will end up will actually be it would be worth it. I don't want the input inside the div though. The input to stay out. Save. Yep. Yep. There we go. And this div that is inside the form, I'll go back over here. We'll style it. We'll say div. And we'll say that it displays flex. It justifies content center. And it sets, and let's say align items center. Like that. And then that, actually, let's say justify content. Let's say space around. And align items. Yep, this is good. And then that means as I open it, right, it should, yep, perfect. This is perfect. All right, perfect. So now we have our create bookmarks with a little bit more styling, and now we can go ahead and look at our individual bookmark. I'm going to go ahead and throw a new file in there, and we'll say bookmark.module.scss. Let me, mess up the name, rename book. I wrote bookmar instead of bookmark. And then we'll save. And for that, there's not really that much of style here. We just want to get rid of the text decoration, and then we're going to want the anchor tag and the button to look different. So all we're going to do is we're going to go to the we're going to take the button and we're going to give it a background color, right? And that background color is going to be text dark. Then we'll say the color is going to be text light, and it's going to have a border radius of, let's say, 0.5 vmin, right? And then we're going to go into our bookmark. We're going to import styles from, let's say, dot slash bookmark dot module dot SCSS, right? We're also going to give it let's give it some margin, right? And then the anchor tag, we'll give it a text decoration, none. So give it text decoration, none, and a cursor of pointer, right? And then we'll give it a, we'll also say a visited and a link, and we'll give it a color of, let's say, let's just go with text dark. Actually, let's go with cool, like so. And list style none. And let's give the whole thing a background color of, let's just give it a background color of all white. Let's give it a border of 1 pixel solid. And let's do var text dark. Let's give it a box shadow of 4 pixels, 8 pixels, 16 pixels, and then var and then display flex, and then font size is 1.5 vmin. And let's give it some padding. And there we go. Now we have our bookmarks like so. And at the end of the day, this is pretty styled now. So now with this kind of like basics of like the styling, we can go ahead and we could add some more. We could say Facebook and https facebook.com. Create the bookmark. Now we got two of them. We can go ahead and we can make a change and then, unmake the change. So Facebook Labs, and then there we go. And everything is formatted well. If you don't like this brown thing, change it to red or blue or green or whatever you want. But overall, like we're just trying to throw some stuff together, just so we have just some styling. Another thing that think that we could do is we could also style the login forms, right? And we could pretty much use the exact same styles from here. Essentially, if we want, there's no real big difference between the login and sign up. So we could take a lot from there. We just have to structure it in order to match up, but you get the general idea. We can go ahead and we can swap that out. But overall, it's set up the way that we want. One thing that I do want to also do is in auth.js, right? Let's go ahead and let's take a look. So right now we're setting the token. So this is going to this get token setup is going to happen. Um, you know, is going to check the token when the component first loads. So that's working well. But what we also want to do is we also want to make it so that that this component is aware of when the user is logging in. So what we want to have happen is we want this login functionality to cause a re-render. So I'm going to go back to app.js and let's look at login. Right? And you see we do local storage set item, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to call list bookmarks by user again, right? Whenever the component actually gets whenever we're going to call that whenever it changes, so we can go ahead and get a page reload when the login occurs. That's one thing we could do. Another thing that we could do is we could take another one of these setters, and we could just pass it down to the login function itself, and have the login function call it itself from wherever it's at. That's another option, but it's not really any need for us to do all that, because we're really just going to log in one time and call it a day. There is another trick that we could do. It might seem a little bit hacky, but in this instance, it actually makes sense because we're setting the local storage, and since we don't have like React Router or anything like that, in this we won't have. We'll use that in the next application. But we can go ahead and throw a little finally here, and we could do a window dot location, right? And we can go ahead and do reload whenever the user logs in, and then we could also do it when the user signs up, and we can do window dot location dot reload here also. And we can save, and then what we'll do Whoops, we have a typo on one of them on create bookmark. We put class name with one S somewhere. Where did we do that? Or did I already fix it? Probably just already fixed it. Yeah, I bet we just already fixed it. Because I don't see that. There it goes. I see it. All right, cool. This I forgot what I was doing here. So now that we have that though, yeah, I remember what I was doing now. Let's do local storage.clear. It's be the last time we do this before we add our button. We'll do local storage.clear. We'll reload, right? And we have our little change here. We'll go ahead. We'll say we're logged in with that. Boom, and now we're logged in. Perfect setup. So that works out the way that we want it to work out. Um, and let me see something. The auth module, the button, font size 2.5 rem, and let's say that the height is also 4 rem on the button, on that button. Right? And then finally, what we'll do is we're going to add a logout button. So you see now on auth, when we're here, we have it just say welcome XYZ. What we're going to also do is right above that auth.js in the app.js. We're going to add a little button here. And we're going to say that on click, that button is going to, I'm just going to say it says log out. And it's going to do local storage dot remove item. And we'll remove the token. And then we'll call window dot location dot reload. And we'll log out totally. And so we'll save that. And we're only going to show that if there's a token, else we'll show nothing. Right? And then we can sign in. And let's say boom, boom, and logged in. Cool. And in auth.js, let's go back here. We got our button here with styles.button. Let's go back to the auth module. Let's make the let's give it the border radius of 4 pixels. Cool. Font size 2.5, 4rem, border radius 4 pixels. Let me log out real quick. Let's look at that. Let's give it a min height of 5rem, save. Alright, let's actually 8rem, save. There we go. 9rem, save. 10rem, save. Right. And make sure that cursor, pointer, save. Cool, cool. And let's go ahead and make a new file here. Let's say login.module.scss. And we'll say that the form on there is display flex direction column, justify content center, align items center, and let's say border 1 pixel solid, and var text dark, and border radius, save. And let's use it. And we'll say import styles from /login module SCSS. Input, let's say font size, cool. And yeah, so now that ends up being pretty somewhat decent setup. And we'll do the same thing with create bookmark. We'll just make a quick change here, and we will make sure that let's say at the form, let's say the form has a min height of, let's say, 8rem, and that the button has a min height of 5rem, like that, or that's too much. 4. There we go. And so that's what we'll do there. And then so we're almost done. We just need to add one more thing. Cool. And now let's go ahead and do the sign up form. Right? So for the login module, let's go ahead and add dot form here. Save. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Actually, no, let's leave it. Let's leave it. And in the sign up form, let's see if there's anything that we want to change in here. Sign up form's a little bit larger. It actually comes out fine enough. Actually, we can kind of leave the sign up form alone. We don't have anything special that we want to do to it. So all in all, we're done. There's obviously more styling that we could do. We can, shrink the size of this outline, etc. Maybe on the sign up form and login form, something like that, or maybe make the inputs bigger. There's a lot of different things we could do, but we just wanted to add some general styling. And the main thing was to get you used to using these modules, these CSS modules. When we go ahead and we get to our e-commerce application, we'll do some more things with styling, and then finally, when we do our larger application that we're going to build, that I'm really excited about, we're going to probably spend about 3-4 videos just on styling, because we're going to talk about some more detailed things. Because right now, if I just start doing some more fancy words and things like that, it may not hit the same as after we've actually gone through and talked about each one of those steps, because I'm not going to assume that you are a CSS expert. So we just got some basic things in there. We didn't add anything too crazy. Just some run of the mill regular stuff. If there's any other things that you want to add, etc., feel free. One last thing I will do, I will align that form. I mean, align that button there. So what we're gonna do is let's go over to here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to where that is, which is in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell it to display as block, and I'm gonna give it a margin of 0 auto, and then save it, and then come back here to the browser, and cool, now it's centered, and cool. So that's it. And then now that we're done, I'll go ahead and share this code, and you can see how we're just applying those CSS modules, and then we'll do more fancy things with our CSS in our next couple of videos. So take care. You have a blessed day. Be blessed, have success, and I'll look forward to speaking to y'all at a later time. So take care.